Hey, you guys, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Sorry, I've been out all day today. We went school clothes shopping and it's been a day. And on my way home, you guys, I was immediately contacted. Well, not immediately, but someone contacted me on my way home and asked me if I knew that Pumpkin and Josh was getting a divorce and that she filed for divorce. And obviously, I had not heard this. So someone sent me a email to a TikTok account. The TikTok account is under the name Tammy. I'm going to show it to you guys in a little bit. So I went to the TikTok account. I saw the video of what appeared to be, Pumpkin from the Mama June reality TV show, Pumpkin Lauren Shannon, that she had to file for divorce from her husband, Josh. So once I got home, I started, seeing what I could figure out. And sure enough, Pumpkin has filed for divorce from her husband, Josh. A lot of people know them from the Here Comes, Honey Boo Boo, Mama June. Josh has been on the show, almost as long as he has been on there since Mama June from Not to Hot. I don't know if he was way back. I don't know if he was there way back in the day of Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, but I do know that he was there whenever they started Mama June from Not to Hot. And I do believe that Pumpkin was already pregnant whenever the show started. And the TikTok account is called Tammy Girl 2389. And I do want to say, I've seen that account drop info before. I also think that's the account that dropped the info about the I don't remember what it's called, but it was back whenever COVID happened and people were taking out loans and stuff like that. And they were getting those loans for businesses. The Tammy TikTok was also the account that dropped that news. And I do speak to someone that, apparently knows that account and said that account is a solid source that has really good information. So I do think the PPP loan, yes. So the Tammy Girl over on TikTok, if you guys want to keep up with information regarding, Mama June, Pumpkin, Alana, all of them, that account does tend to know information, but I don't know who that account is. So I can't say, who it is, but I will say it's dropped some information before that I was able to go back and verify. So it seems like a solid source. Okay. So if you guys want to follow the Tammy account over on TikTok, it was just put in the chat. I'll find it again as well. But like I said, I was on my way home from the city buying school clothes and I got this message and I went and checked it out. And then I got home and I checked the site. And it is true. Pumpkin filed for divorce from Josh and they've already reached a settlement. Like she filed for the divorce today, and today it says he was served, and today they reached the agreement on their settlement. So it seems like this is not a contentious divorce. It seems like this is something it seems like it's moving pretty, like, it's a divorce. So it's probably not easy. But the fact that they seem to have filed, he was served, and they've already reached a settlement is such a short amount of time makes me believe that maybe like they're both on board with this and it's not like a big fight. Also, if you guys follow the family, we all know that Pumpkin took a break from social media for a while, maybe like a month or so, and she just came back. Pumpkin just came back. So Pumpkin has the Sisters Closet. She started it out on TikTok where she would sell things, and they developed their own app. And so they go live on their own app and on Facebook where she sells things. And it went from her starting off in her bedroom in a little corner to, a building that she had outside to a big building that she rents. Or she actually, I think she purchased it. She purchased a big warehouse where she goes live. And she normally would go live multiple times a week. But for some reason, she just kind of ghosted for a while. And everybody was wondering, what's going on with Pumpkin? What's going on with Pumpkin? Where has she been? Why hasn't she been live? Well, she just came back. I think the day that I broke the news that, Michael Cardwell, who was fighting for custody of Caitlyn, Vanna's oldest daughter, that he was not granted equitable caregiver. So he could not move forward with getting custody of her. So therefore, June does, still have custody of Caitlyn. The day that I went live and broke that news, Pumpkin went back live that night, I think it was. And she had been gone for like a month. And Alana actually said on a recent TikTok live that Pumpkin had to take a break or she was not Pumpkin actually said, like verbatim, pretty much, she said Pumpkin had to take a break or she was not going to be here with us much longer. Like something along those lines. She very much implied that Pumpkin, her mental health was not well. So I'm glad that she took that break. It seems like maybe during that break, maybe I guess they come to some sort of agreement between her and Josh that, maybe they didn't need to carry on with their marriage. But we do have the documents. We are going to go over the documents, you guys. And I just want to say, I know this family thinks that I don't like them. I don't like a lot of their choices. But at the end of the day, they have children. They've been married for several years. I think they were both like each other's like high school sweetheart, first love. So I hope that they can navigate this in the easiest way possible and the best way possible. I really hope that they can. Despite everything else, a divorce is not easy. My parents got a divorce when I was 7 years old. It's not easy, so sending prayers out to them. Let's go ahead and let's get into it. All right, so here is the complaint for the divorce. As you guys can see up at the top, it says Lauren Efert versus Josh Efert. It says over here on the right-hand corner, it says it was filed today, August 1st, 2024. It says complaint for divorce comes now Lauren Efert plaintiff, which means she filed the complaint. Brings this complaint for divorce against Joshua Efert as the defendant and shows the court as follows. The plaintiff is a resident of Wilkinson County, Georgia, and has been a resident of the state of Georgia for more than 6 months immediately preceding the filing of this complaint. Well, we're actually going over the court documents. So when I say like things that I've heard, I don't know what I said I heard, but I'm backing it up with the court. These were filed today. You can get on the website yourself and verify that they did file for divorce. So what I'm actually going to talk about today, if I say this is my opinion or I heard something, I'll always be upfront with a source told me or I heard this. If it's something that I can say, I know this for a fact, and this is how I know it, I'll tell you guys that. And there's no denying this. This is a complaint for divorce. It was filed today, August 1st, 2024 at 3:30 p.m. Lauren filed it against Josh. So this is not heard is not true. Don't spread stuff you don't know. This is obviously stuff that is, you know. Okay, I don't know about that. So I thought you were talking to me. My apologies. Let's continue because I do have people coming here all the time, like saying really nasty things or just being rude. And I'm like, I'm not, don't be rude. I'm not being rude. Let's continue. The defendant is a resident of Wilkinson County, Georgia. He has signed an acknowledgement of service. Said acknowledgement is being filed contemporaneously herewith. The parties hereto are lawfully husband and wife and have been married since June 17th, 2018. Now, pay attention to that date because later on in the court filing, there was a typo on the date, which did confuse people. So when Tammy Girl posted the TikTok of the filings, one of the dates says 2024, June 17, 2024 for the date they got married. So it's just a typo. Right here, it gives the date they got married, June 17, 2018. The parties separated on or about July 2024 and have remained in a bona fide state of separation since that time. There is 4 minor children at issue of this marriage: Ella, Bentley, Silas, Stella. Is that all of them? Yeah, that's 4. Sorry. All right. The plaintiff requests that she should be granted a divorce for the following grounds: that the marriage between the parties is irretrievably broken, as why can I not say this word right now? As contemplated by OCGA 19-5-313, there being no reasonable hope for reconciliation. I know in Louisiana, the filing usually the most generic filing is irreconcilable differences. So I don't know in Georgia if irretrievably broken is the most generic filing for like if you just understand that you don't need to be married. But that's what their grounds are, that the marriage between the parties is irretrievably broken, which is so crazy because we just watched them on TV. What we watched this past few months was filmed less than a year ago. You guys, what we were watching was filmed less than a year ago, and they seemed okay. And I get it. We don't see everything. I get it that they're not going to show the worst in front of the cameras. they're not going to be fighting in front of the cameras. More than likely, they may put on a brave face and get along when the cameras are there. So I'm sure there's things that we just didn't know. I can't say I did an interview with Sugar Bear. Sugar Bear and Josh are cousins, and I think Sugar Bear said that in the interview. If he didn't, he did tell me that too. But Sugar Bear and Josh are cousins. All right, so the plaintiff requests that she be granted the divorce on the following grounds: that the marriage between the parties is irretrievably broken, as contemplated by OCGA 19-5-313, there being no reasonable hope for reconciliation. In compliance with Georgia Rule 19-4-49, the plaintiff shows the court the following: that their minor children of the parties reside with the parties herein from birth. Plaintiff has not participated as a party, witness, or in any other capacity in any litigation other than the present action concerning the custody of said minor children in this or any other state. Plaintiff has no information of a custody proceeding other than this action concerning the minor children pending in any court of this or any other state. Plaintiff knows of no other person not a party to this action who has physical custody of said minor children or claims any rights to custody or visitation rights with said minor children. Also, since I'm reading this, you guys, I won't be able to be in the chat that much. I just kind of want to try to go through everything, and then I'll be in the chat and I'll answer questions about things that I've heard. Okay. The plaintiff shows that it is in the best interest of the minor children that the parties are awarded joint legal and joint physical custody. So in Pumpkin's filing herself, she is asking that they split custody of the children. The parties have entered into a contract of settlement, settling all issues of this divorce, and ask that said agreement be made the order of the court. Wherefore, plaintiff prays that there be an issuance of summons in terms of the law. That the defendant be served according to the law. That the divorce be granted between the parties. That is a vincula. That's Italian, upon legal principles. That the contract of the settlement entered into by both parties being made the order of the court, and that the plaintiff have such other and further relief as this court deems just and proper under the circumstances. I really think this is a pretty civil divorce from the way that it seems, just because everything was filed at once. They already have an agreement and everything. I have heard about that, and we'll talk about that in just a second, JC. And that is what I'm hearing about Pumpkin being investigated. I haven't seen anything to legitimately back it up. I've talked to people who have heard this, but I haven't heard anything to legitimately, like, whenever I report something as serious as somebody being investigated for like some sort of abuse, especially when it pertains to a child, I'm obviously not going to get on here and say I know this, but I have heard that. So Summer Love in the chat just explained it. I've heard this, but I don't know this for sure, right? I just heard this. Pumpkin is being investigated for child neglect and endangerment by an investigator from Atlanta Special Victims Unit. I have heard that, but I haven't seen any like documentation, but I've heard it from multiple people. I don't know. I know more details, but I want to wait until I hear more before I say anything, because Mama June's already like wanting to sue me. So, I also will say I do not think Pumpkin and Josh would file for a divorce for ratings. People might file for a divorce for other reasons, like, like say you're getting Medicaid and, you start making too much money or something like that. So you're like, oh no, like it would be cheaper if we're divorced or something like that. Like I've heard of people doing that, and I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm just saying I've heard of people doing that. Let's go over these documents and then we'll talk. Okay, so the verification personally appeared under the undersigned notary public duly authorized to administer oaths in the state of Georgia. Lauren Efert, who after being duly sworn, deposed and states that she is the plaintiff in the foregoing complaint, for the divorce and that the facts contained herein are true and correct to the best of her knowledge, information, and belief, the first day of August 2024. This is so wild because this literally, all of this was filed today. Everything was filed today. All right, so let me jump over. That was the filing for the divorce, okay? The complaint for the divorce, that was it. It was like 4 pages, I think. All right. Now, let me get the other one. Then we see that Josh was served, which he obviously knew this was coming. So it says, acknowledgments of service comes now. Josh Efert as the defendant in the action stated above hereby acknowledges personal service and receipt of the complaint for the divorce and agrees to the jurisdiction and the venue of this court, and all additional service of process is hereby waived. So that was done today. No, not the very first Mama June. I'm saying I think when Mama June from Not to Hot came on is when we were introduced to Josh. And I don't know if she was pregnant when Mama June from Not to Hot started or if it was like a few seasons in, but I was trying to figure out when were we introduced to Josh? It was definitely not during the Honey Boo Boo days. I'm pretty sure it was when they came back for Mama June Not to Hot. And I don't know if she was pregnant at that time when they started. I want to say shoot. I'm not sure. So let's look at the settlement now because they've already filed the settlement, okay? All right, so this was also filed today, same time, contract of settlement. This agreement made and entered into by Lauren Efert, hereinafter called mother or wife, and Josh Efert, hereinafter called husband or father. So the witnesses, whereas the parties to this action were married on June 17, 2024. As you guys see right there, that was clearly a typo. They were married June 17, 2018, and it stated that in the original filing, so this is just a typo. And separated on or about July 2024 and have remained in a bona fide state of separation since that time. Whereas there are 4 children, Ella, Bentley, Silas, and Stella. Whereas prior to the hearing in this matter, the parties reached a full and final agreement on all issues of divorce, custody, visitation, child support, division of property, alimony, and division of debt. So you guys, they reached a settlement agreement on everything. Assets, custody, alimony, child support, everything. Which is wild. So that's why I'm led to believe that maybe this is pretty like copacetic between them, right? It's pretty simple. Okay. Now, where therefore, in consideration of the promises and the mutual undertakings contained herein, the parties do hereby agrees as follows. Custody and visitation. So this is their agreement for custody and visitation. The parties shall have joint legal and joint physical custodies. The parties will exercise parenting time as set forth in their parenting plan. So they do have a parenting plan. All right, so child support and medical expenses. Due to the joint custodial relationship between the parties, there shall be no award of child support. I want to touch on this after. You guys remind me after we go over this to touch on the 50-50 custody and no child support in reference to Anna and Michael, because that's what Anna and Michael did, and that's why they decided no child support because they both had 50-50 custody. Anyways, let's continue. The parties shall equally divide the expenses of the minor children, including but not limited to uncovered medical expenses, extracurricular activities, and necessary school expenses. The father shall have the right to claim Ella and Silas on his income tax returns, and the mother shall have the right to claim Bentley and Stella. The parties leasing to own property at blank, that is her warehouse where she sells her merchandise and everything. The contact for this transaction is currently in both names. The parties shall work together to remove the husband's name from the contract and the wife will be responsible for all indebtedness on said property and shall hold the husband harmless. So they're getting like they are literally like honestly, I feel like they are doing the most civil and mature thing for each other. Um, the fact that she's like, "You know what? This is my business. Like, yes, you helped me business. Yes, you helped me build it, but it is my business and I'm going to continue my business. So you shouldn't financially have to pay for my business. Like, you're going to have to go get your own job and I'm not going to hold you responsible for my note over here for this building where you're not going to get any profits off of it." So that's awesome that she's like, "You know what? This building I'll take care of." That's awesome that they're doing that. The wife shall further be responsible for all other expenses associated with the home. The parties have previously divided the contents of the home, and the husband shall have 60 days from the date of the signing of the order to remove his items. The parties each have vehicles in their own names. Each party will keep the vehicles in their own name and shall be responsible for all indebtedness, insurance, and tax on their own vehicles. Each party shall keep any banking/financial accounts in his or her own names. The children each have Coogan accounts. That's awesome to know that Pumpkin's children have Coogan accounts because legally they don't have to. The parties are both listed. So that's even better that they are both listed on the kids' Coogan accounts as signatories. Okay, so the parties are both listed as signatories on the account, and they shall both remain as signatories on the children's account. So that's awesome. Listen, I don't agree with my husband's decisions all the time. So I don't agree with their decisions all the time. But that's awesome that they have their kids set up with Coogan accounts because in Georgia they don't have to. So their kids have been on TV. And I did hear this. I was told maybe like a year ago that yes, Pumpkin does have her kids set up some sort of an account. And I was like, that's great. Division of debt. Each party shall pay the debt in his or her own name, except as specifically mentioned herein. Neither party shall cause any further debt to be incurred in the name of the other. That's awesome. All right, alimony waiver. Each party waives any claims and rights each has and may have to alimony, maintenance, and support of any nature, whether in the form of periodic payments, lump sum payments, or awards of property from his or her separate property, separate estate, or otherwise. Accordingly, the parties declare and agree that there shall be no payments in this agreement that shall be taxable income to either party, nor a deduction to either party for tax purposes. No payments in this agreement, regardless of the character of such payments, under the state laws of any jurisdiction, shall be included in the gross income of the recipient or allowable as deduction to the payer under the IR code, the Internal Revenue Code. The provisions of this section do not change and are not intended to change the character of any payments under this agreement for purposes of any state laws, federal bankruptcy laws, or any other laws of any jurisdiction. Each party forever waives his or her right to assert a claim for support or alimony against the other party. This is so amicable. I know. And listen, Kelly B, y'all know how I said earlier, like I've heard of people get into a divorce because financially it benefits them better. So I don't know. Maybe it's a situation like that. Like, well, I don't know. And that's just me speculating. They got too many kids to be petty. I know that's right, Z. Effect of reconciliation. In the event of reconciliation and resumption of the marital relationship between parties, the provisions of this agreement, whether executed or executory, shall nevertheless continue in full force and effect without abatement of any provisions hereof, except as otherwise provided by written agreement duly executed by each of the parties after the date of the reconciliation. Performance. Each party, at the request of the other, shall at any time, in good faith, execute, acknowledge, and deliver to the other party any and all instruments and take all action necessary in order to carry out the terms of this agreement. Sean, if you're in the chat, can you please check on, can you text the kid that's not here, that's staying at grandma's and see if kids sleep? This is not fake. You can find this. This is not fake. I literally pulled this from the docket. This is literally court records. It's not fake. Okay. So the agreement, it is agreed and understood that this instrument shall in no way be construed or considered to be an agreement of the parties to obtain a divorce from each other. Contrariwise, it is to be considered as an agreement settling their rights respecting property and division of debt, the same being the free and voluntary act of each of the parties hereto. Sole agreement, no other representation. This agreement constitutes the entire agreement between the parties and supersedes any and all agreements previously made by them. No representation or warranties have been made by each party to the other except for for those representations and warranties expressly set forth herein. Release. Except for those rights and claims for which this agreement provides, each party hereby waives and releases any and all marital rights and claims, including but not limited to alimony. So they are waiving, this has already been said. I know, can we delete that out of the chat real quick, mods? Can we, hold on. Sorry. We'll get in trouble for that one. So let me delete that. Sorry. So they are relinquishing any rights to alimony. So it says, okay, except for those rights and claims for which this agreement provides, each party hereby waives and releases any and all marital rights and claims, including but not limited to alimony, division of property, including but not limited to real and personal property, cash, bank accounts, stocks, bonds, other securities, options, investments accounts, and retirement funds, dower, courtesy, years, support, and any rights of inheritance pursuant to the laws of entity, which rights and claims each party may now have against each other or the estate of the other by reason of the marriage of the parties. Both parties waive any legal right he or she may have been appointed executory or administrator of the estate of the other, except as the deceased party may have designated in his or her will. All property received or retained by either party under his agreement, whether or not such property is specifically mentioned herein, shall be and remain the separate property of the party receiving or retaining that property, and that property shall be free from any claim by other or his or her estate. That was just a storyline, from my understanding, that they wanted Josh's go-go juice. So someone told me that Jessica and Cheyenne was on a TikTok live a few nights after that, and they were asked about that, and Cheyenne was like, "No, I really did not want that. I didn't know that was no." So I think that was really for a storyline. Transfers. Any and all transfers herein are not in exchange for release of any marital rights, but solely and exclusively constitutes a equitable division of jointly owned property between parties. Acceptance. Each party acknowledges that the provisions herein made for the support and maintenance of the parties in any division or disposition of the property of the parties are fair, adequate, and reasonable and satisfactory to each party. Free and voluntary. The parties acknowledge that they are entering into this agreement freely and voluntarily and under no compulsion or duress, that each is mentally competent, and that they have read each page of the agreement carefully before signing same, that they have ascertained and weighed all of the facts and circumstances likely to influence their judgment herein, that they have sought and or had sufficient opportunity to obtain legal advice independently of each other, that they have given due consideration to such provisions and questions, and that they clearly understand and assent to all the provisions hereof. The disclosure. The parties agrees this agreement is made with the express understanding that each has fully disclosed to the other all property in which they have interest, including but not limited to all retirement benefits, saving plans, monies on deposits, and all other personal and real property in which each party claims an interest. Severance. In the event that any paragraphs of this agreement shall be declared invalid or void by any court, such declaration shall not invalidate the entire agreement, and all other paragraphs of the agreement shall remain in full force and effective. incorporation into final judgment and decree. This agreement shall be fully binding of the parties and their heirs, legatees. I don't know. Okay. Whatever. Administrators and assigns. The parties further agree that this agreement may be submitted to the Wilkinson County Superior Court, and that this agreement, if approved by said court, shall become a part of the final decree in said action, and shall constitute the sole agreement and decree relating to all matters to which this agreement refers. The judgment. It is agreed and anticipated that this agreement may be the judgment of the court in said divorce proceedings pending in Wilkinson County Superior Court by the wife against the husband. Georgia law. This agreement and its supplication and interpretation shall be governed exclusively by the laws of the state of Georgia. Advice of counsel. The parties acknowledge that they have ample opportunity to obtain counsel and legal advice independently of each other. The parties acknowledge that they have given due consideration to all provisions, and they clearly state they clearly understand and assent to all the provisions. Miscellaneous. The parties agree that each will execute whatever documents or instruments are required to effectuate the terms and intent of this agreement. All prior negotiations, representations, and promises by the parties are hereby declared merged into this written agreement, and no such prior promises and negotiations not included shall be binding or of any effect. Both parties agree that each and every act required of them under the terms of this agreement is and shall become mandatory by the order of the court if and when the divorce is granted. And the violation of the agreement contained herein shall subject them to the penalties of contempt of court. And each agreed that among other remedies provided by law, that an application for contempt is one of the appropriate remedies to enforce the terms of this agreement. This agreement shall supersede all previous agreements, whereof the parties have hereunto and affixed their seals on the day and year as above written. So Josh signed that here. Lauren signed it here, August 1st. It was notarized. And I think that is it. Well, actually, there's more filings, but I actually didn't buy all the filings. And the reason why was because this is what was filed. Okay. I think they own their house. I was told they own their house. Okay, so the consent to hearing 31 days after service. So this was the initial complaint. This was the acknowledgement that Josh received the complaint. This, I don't remember what this was. I think this was just the sheriff acknowledged that he, yes. Okay, both of the parties have consented to the final hearing in this action anytime 30 days from the filing of the acknowledgement. So that's just them acknowledging that they'll have a hearing, the settlement, a summons for Josh, and a general civil case filing information. It is a well-written divorce agreement. If there really was an investigation, they would not be allowed to be filed. This would not have accepted nor could it be notarized. I don't know is what I'm hearing. It's an investigator out of Atlanta. I don't know. But I've heard that several times. Let me see about this. Okay, so this summons just states you are hereby summoned and required to file with clerk of court and serve upon the plaintiff's attorney whose name and address is, I guess, maybe that's the clerk of court, an answer to the complaint which is herein served upon you within 30 days after service of the summons. So this just tells Josh that he has to answer to the summons. Okay, Summer. I don't remember who told me that she owns that house, that they did do like a rent to own. But I remember hearing that a while back. Okay, and the other is a general civil and domestic relations case filing information form where they just had to put their info and what their filing was, and it was the dissolution of their marriage. So that's like her name, his name's on this, and that. And Pumpkin does have an attorney. Or actually, it looks like they're using the same attorney for this divorce. Is what it looks like. Did Justin finally leave June yet? I don't think so. Um, are they using the same lawyer as June? No, they're not. This is a different attorney. So you guys, this is not fake. I mean, it is sad. It is sad. And despite, I report on the family and they don't like the way that I report them. But anytime there is a family that breaks up, that's sad. So let me see. Let me check something really quickly because I reached out to a few sources. What's not a conflict if you get a lot if you agree on everything, it's not a conflict because Anna and Michael used the same attorney. They agreed on everything and it was simple, easy peasy lemon squeezy. They got together. They had to, I guess, use a certain attorney to do the filing, I guess. I don't know anything about divorces, never had one. But I do know that Michael Cardwell and Anna Chickadee, when they got a divorce, they used the same attorney as well. So I don't think, as long as you are not fighting over things, I guess it can be okay. All right, let's see. So yeah, they've been separated over a month. So right after her event, Pumpkin had this event, like a pop-up shop situation where they invited vendors to come out and all these vendors set up at the location. And apparently right after that, they split up. No alimony, custody. They're splitting everything. It's 50-50 custody. Okay, now, thank you. Elle Bee, you're supposed to remind of the 50-50 custody. So you guys remember, because I'm still not over this Mama June, custody situation with Caitlyn and Michael Cardwell. And just recently on one of the episodes, Mama June said that the reason Michael Cardwell paid tuition for Caitlyn as well as Kylie, his biological daughter, was because it was going to be cheaper for him to pay tuition for two kids at a private school versus paying child support for one child. You guys remember June said that on the show, and I thought, that don't make no sense. And I'm pretty sure in Michael and Anna's divorce filing, they agreed on no child support at all since they both had them 50-50. So I went back and checked, and sure enough, Michael and Anna, in their divorce agreement, they said we want 50-50 and no child support because 50-50. But I took it a step further. You guys bear with me. I took it a step further with that. And I was able, now I know it's been some years, so the numbers are not going to be the exact same, but when I was looking at the divorce agreement between Michael and Anna, it actually did have, there was a child support form where she filled out her monthly income and he filled out his, but on the bottom of it, it said no request for child support due to joint custody 50% of the time. I don't remember exactly how I worded it, but basically they did have to give what their monthly income was, but because they were split 50-50, they wanted to do child support. So anyways, Anna's monthly income back in 2019 was $1,500 a month. Michael's was $2,773 a month. Okay, so now we're going to continue to talk about Pumpkin and Josh and their divorce in a minute. But when I was looking at that divorce paper and I saw his monthly income and her monthly income, and I saw on the paperwork where it said she was not requesting child support because he was going to have both kids 50% of the time, I was like, that proves that June lied. But I took it a step further even more. And I decided to figure out what it would be today if Michael had to pay child support based off his income and her income for just one child. Because that's what June said. June said Michael paid tuition for Caitlyn and Kylie because it was going to be cheaper for him to pay tuition for two kids versus him paying child support for one child. So now here's what we know. Here's what we know is that, the numbers aren't going to be the exact same because I doubt Michael's still making $2,773. And, I doubt Anna was making 1,500. I'm sure they started making more and things like that. But I'm going based off those numbers and today's calculation. So I pulled up a Georgia child support calculator. And this is what I found. For one child, because June said it would be cheaper for him to pay for the tuition for two kids versus child support for just one kid. So based off those numbers, Michael would have to pay $548 a month. That's today though, right? If he made that amount of money today. So I looked up where they went to school at to figure out what's the tuition. So every year you have to pay a registration fee. For your first kid, it's $350. For your second kid, it's $250. So that's a total of $600. And I was told that Michael paid the registration fee for both kids. So weekly for one child is $95. Weekly for the second child is $80.75. So a full price for tuition for two kids is $7,381.50 for a school year. If Michael would have paid $548 a month for 12 months, and remember, the school year is not 12 months. It's only however many months. Let's see. Like 8 months. So $548 times 12 is $6,576. So if Michael would have paid $548 a month all year round, he would have paid $6,500 for one kid for child support. Him paying their tuition for 8 months was $7,381.50 plus their $600 registration fee. So what was that total? The registration fee? I don't think I added that, but it would have been over $8,000. Okay. So I went the extra mile to figure out with him paying their tuition, how much that would have been versus how much he would have paid for child support. And he would have paid less paying child support. So June can't use that excuse that, first off, that doesn't even make sense, right? I mean, when you're like, well, he decided to pay tuition for two kids because it was cheaper than him paying child support for one kid. Well, why didn't he just say, I'm paying tuition for one kid? I'm paying tuition for one kid. That's what I'm going to pay. I'm not paying tuition for two kids. And if you want me to pay child support, that's what I'm going to pay. Or take me to court. So, and the thing about it is through the court records, they agreed no child support. So that was full blown, not the truth. Besides, I've talked to other people that was like, yeah, no, that was not the truth. There was never any discussion of child support because they split the kids 50-50. But whenever I was looking at everything the other day, I was like, you know what, now that I got the numbers up here, let me see if I can figure this out. Whenever I figured it out, I was like, yep, just like I figured, she was not being honest. Either way, though, at the end of the day, it is sad that Pumpkin and Josh are getting a divorce. I've heard all kinds of things about this family, and some things, it does seem that some things lean more on the side of truth that are not the best things. Is he making more now? I hope so. That was 2019. He was making $2,773 a month in 2019. Mind you, back then, that was when they got a divorce, and that's what he made. And he got two kids week on, week off. Not to be rude, but June don't need no kids to raise. She got a bad past history. I know. That's why I said it makes no sense. If there was no child support agreement, and then how the hell would it be that he could be paying for school be cheap? I know, exactly. It never made sense. It looks like there's a red tint to it. Oh, thank you. I think it's just the lighting. No more than they made an income. They should have qualified for low income scholarships from the school or state. I know in NC we have NC Opportunity Scholarships to help. Well, they went to a private school. So I was told that Caitlyn did struggle a little bit in school, so they decided to put her and Kylie in the private school to help her. Because in private schools, there's not normally, and I was told this, like in this particular private school, there wasn't a lot of people in Caitlyn's class. So there was more people. There was She could get more focus from the teacher, right? She could get more help from the teacher. So whenever Anna passed and June immediately put Caitlyn in a public school, I was like, oh no, like, because I was told that Caitlyn was specifically the reason they switched from public to private was to help the girls, you know, because Caitlyn specifically was kind of struggling in a setting with so many kids. So it was more one-on-one time, right? And Caitlyn's a smart person. So I don't want it to be said that I'm acting like I mean, she just struggled with so many kids. So the fact that June took her out of a private school where, from my understanding, she was doing quite well, put her in a public school. The reason she was put into a private school was to help her academically. Um, put her into a public school, and then what did June say on one of the most recent episodes of the show? Whenever Caitlyn wanted to stay with Pumpkin, she was like, "Well, she needs to do her homework because she got a 1 on some of her stuff the other day." So I do wonder, like, how's she doing now? How is Caitlyn doing now in the public school? Okay, so thank you. Rumors around town is Pumpkin dating Paisley. Remember, she said she's bi allegedly for entertainment purposes. Is Paisley the blonde chick that has a husband that looks like Jelly Roll? Is that who you're talking about? Uh, how does Michael look at Kate like money? There's no way he could because he just spent a lot of money on his attorney. If Michael would have got Caitlyn back, they were either going to put Caitlyn and Kylie back in the private school and continue to pay the tuition or contemplate homeschooling them, which homeschooling is not cheap because I homeschool one of my kids. So, and here's the thing, like, I was told that Kylie has a, um, Kylie has a savings account that, they have set up for her already. I know Eldridge has helped her with her homework. Yes. I can't see Pumpkin homeschooling. Eek. Paisley works for Pumpkin, is on her lives with the sister closet. Oh, okay. Pumpkin did file for a divorce. No, Bunny is Jelly Roll's wife. I'm talking about the blonde headed girl that just the other day, it's a blonde headed girl that sometimes is on Pumpkin's TikToks. And the other day, this blonde headed girl and her husband did a TikTok and uh, they were like dancing. I don't remember what the song was. And then it panned over and you see Pumpkin and Josh. Um, Yeah, Michael don't have no money and he ain't put the Michael works hard and has worked hard. Way back in the day, Michael worked when they went to Alabama and he took care of Anna and Caitlyn. And whenever Anna wanted to sue June for stealing her money, Michael helped do that. And then they had to just kind of drop it because all the money was spent. And to really pursue that, they were going to have to spend thousands of dollars that they didn't have because Michael was literally like 20 years old in Alabama working for like I don't maybe like a record company up there. So yeah, they don't have money. It's a very normal life at their house, from what I'm told. Michael works, London works, and it's just very normal. Whereas June, she gets money from Caitlyn being on the show. The same way she got money from Alana being on the show, that Alana literally all these years later found out she didn't have in the account like she should have. So Caitlyn is more than likely drawing a check from appearing on the new episode of Mama June. Also, from my understanding, she would draw a SSI check due to the fact that her mother passed away. And if what we think we know is that that would go to June. I was told that Michael had set oh, yeah, I was told Michael set up a savings account for Kylie for Kylie's, SSI check. Summer is a wealth of information. Yes, Summer is somebody that I talk to as well that knows a lot and has given me information that I've been able to like solidify. So yeah, the kids need to go to school and learn social skills and how to act appropriately. I'm at the beginning, but the fact that Sugar Bear and Josh are cousins is all we need to hear. Crazy. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that. Okay, I did hear this as well that Bentley had been staying at Josh's mama with Josh's mom before Josh and Pumpkin even split up. That Bentley was at Josh's mom's house a lot. Yeah, just like Pumpkin got money for a lot of it on the show. Yes, absolutely. Summer says I check my facts before I say anything. Please do. I'm sure they will make Caitlyn a new superstar. She sees nothing but money. Yeah. Yes. Sugar Bear and Justin are cousins. So, anyways, you guys, that's what we know right now. But that, it's awesome that they are so civil with this and that they can agree on everything, which makes me wonder, like, is there cheating involved? Because usually if cheating's involved, it's like, no, you cheated on me. You gonna pay my damn car note. Like, I ain't paying nothing. You ruined this marriage. I want alimony. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. The fact that it is so civil is like maybe they just realized, you know what, like we don't love each other anymore. And I would rather, move on with my life and find somebody that I'm like crazy about. And it's just not there for us anymore. So let's move on with our lives. And maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna talk to my sources to see, what else is out there that's being said. But either way, it's gonna be a hard time for the family. No less, they've been together for many years. They have kids together, so it's gonna be okay. Somebody said, "I'm telling you, tax purposes." I've heard before of people getting divorced and it being for purposes of like them about to get in trouble for like taxes or like being on Medicaid and they didn't really qualify and things like that. I'm not saying that's what's happening. But some, I don't, I can say this person here knows people too because I've talked to that person there too. Um, Pumpkin and all them better watch June hard because if she took her own kids' money, she will take her grandchildren's money. Oh, 100%. But you know what I can say is Pumpkin wouldn't let June come within a football field of her kids' money. I guarantee you. Pumpkin would be like, not today. Something's fishy. That it's so simple. I know. I still think it's the investigation. Could it be the PPP loan? There's a CPS investigation. I have heard there's investigations going on, but I'm waiting for confirmation. Okay. I have heard that yes, but I'm waiting for confirmation on that. Uh, Paisley Martin. Okay, give me a second. I'm trying to think if that's who I think it is. I don't think it is. I wish I could think of the girl's name that I see Pumpkin on with sometimes. Making incentives for being a single parent is destroying the nuclear family. Am I absolutely? Yes, yes. I know who you're talking about. Okay, I see her. Yes, she does work for Pumpkin. Is she single and ready to mingle or what? Hmm. Well, I don't know. Josh had enough of June and her loves. Look at that pretty face thinking, oh, me, me. It is who you think it is. Thank you. They've been friends for years. Her Facebook is lit up like a Christmas tree. Oh. I thought you were talking about mine at first. I was like, what? 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago, Pumpkin shared this. This is interesting since somebody just coming here saying, since, since somebody's saying that Pumpkin may be in a relationship with another female, it's interesting that she shared this 2 hours ago with a heart. Happy National Girlfriend's Day to all my pretty girls around the world. Now, this could be interpreted a few ways. So let me just say this could be interpreted as all my friends, or it could be interpreted as, boo, the secret boo out there. Me and my man are so close. I almost said, girl, me and my man so close. I almost said, girl, guess what? Or, okay, Paisley Martin. Oh my God, that's so mean. I can't say that. Me, I can. Give me the phone. Repeated behavior is no accident. That's who you really are. Go ahead, underestimate me. That will be fine. Don't come around my family if you're sensitive. They have no filter. No filter at all. True story. Anything a man can give you, anything a man can give me materialistic, I can give myself. So my definition of spoiling is giving me your time, give me experiences. I don't walk away to teach people a lesson. I walk away because I learned mine. Okay, so 4 hours ago, like Pumpkin's making posts to let honestly that you can kind of put two and two together. I don't walk away to teach people a lesson. I walk away because I learned mine 4 hours ago. That's what Pumpkin said. She wants a relationship that makes her kids happy too, not just her. With fingers crossed. Okay. So Pumpkin possibly found a girlfriend, but Josh wasn't invited to the party. Maybe. True story. 6 hours ago, where we going? My favorite coping mechanism, just riding around. Mine too. I might forgive you 1,000 times, but I only trust you once. Read that again. So she's sharing something to kind of make me question. I might forgive you 1,000 times, but I only trust you once. What is going on? I don't give up what nobody think of me. F you thinking about me for anyways. Yeah. He said, she said, they said me. I'm effing with whoever makes me happy, and I'm not explaining crap to nobody. And I ain't. Okay. I have children in my life that aren't even mine that I would do anything for. Okay. Let's see who's liking this one. All right. You gonna hurt your own feelings trying to hurt mine. I don't care about nothing. All right. I get where y'all be coming from, but I be coming from somewhere else. So I goes first, Lord, grab my hand and guide me through this month. All right. Big business. When it comes to my peace, I'm gonna stand on business every time. When I'm shopping for my kids, I just accept the total. I ain't putting none back. Life is better when you don't care what other people think about you. Never did, never will. I hate when people go too far with me because now I got to go overseas. Lord knows it. So she's sharing a lot of stuff. I'm too jealous to like your stuff and too nosy to unfriend you. That's me. That's me. That's me. Well, I'm not jealous, but I am too nosy to unfriend anybody. Definitely not jealous though. My twin, my whole heart, my Ella Grace. Oh. Going to visit a honeybee house for the first time since February. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. How's my oldest baby? Moneybag once said you can't compete when you can't compare. I don't compete with soul. I'm me. So that's already unfair to you. I don't compete with a soul. I'm me. Moneybag once said you can't compete where you can't compare. Boom. Glad I'm the being talked about and not the unhappy doing the talking. Geez, she's sharing a lot of stuff that kind of makes me wonder, like, what's she going through? Unfortunately, I'm a felon's daughter, so it's in my genes to crash out. Okay. Every time. My toxic trait is when I find out someone doesn't like me, I try to make it worse. All right. Jesus turned water into wine. I'm just trying to turn you into mine. What? 2 days ago. Jesus turned water into wine. I'm just trying to turn you into mine. Well, that definitely seems like she's talking to somebody. Hmm. Josh's picture is still him in the fan band. Some things are better left unsaid, but you know me, I'm always going to say it. That's just me. You are what you eat. I don't remember being a baddie who's really funny, but okay. Let's see. Okay. It's attractive when your partner can educate you on topics you lack knowledge on. So patient, like I guess because she don't have a partner. It's a different kind of intimacy. Okay. I hate when I'm in my car jamming and somebody called me like, damn, what the F you want? I'm in the studio. I was literally just going to post this the other day because my best friend posted it. Okay, Marky Mark, anything you got, let me know because we will probably talk about this again tomorrow. No female could ever be me. I don't care if she's prettier than me, has long hair, or better looking body. There will always be something about me that you will never find in another female. I mean that in the most humble way. And then she said, one of a kind. I'm trying to see if Paisley is hearting any of her posts because let me tell you, I used to be an investigator. Okay. Years of a relationship with a guy that cheated. I become a investigator where I can figure anything out. Okay. Which has really helped me with my YouTube channel too. You're intimidating. Good. I want you to think 3 times before you speak to me. I can cook, I can clean. I just can't shut up. Starting August 1st, I won't be crazy anymore. And she did pray hands and she literally filed her divorce on August 1st. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100K. Help your girl out. This is what we do here. We do reality television. And unfortunately, when we do have to cover the fact that somebody's getting a divorce, we send them well wishes and we hope for the best for them. Even if they're, somebody that maybe we don't particularly like or care for, we still do that because we still want people to be okay. Hearing "Don't start" is exciting, makes me wanna start. With you, it's different. Who's she talking to? Okay, pumpkin, who you talking to? They might not like you, but they're watching you. I'm watching you today, I am. I'm really. Took my L's with a smile, now I'm loading up for the biggest run of my life. Prayer hands. Another day being the prettiest girl he's ever dated. Laughy face? I be texting my bestie like, "We got this." No, we don't, and we both need therapy. She tagged Paisley, the girl that I don't know nothing about this. Somebody come to the chat and said this. What you gotta say, Shug? What you gotta say? Blocking is for the week, and I want you to look at my post and get mad or send screenshots. I be catching hints, but I'm gonna wait till you say it with your chest. I don't have Rias. I'm just tattooed and mentally unstable. Okay. Ooh, just because someone is laid up with you every night doesn't mean they're loyal to you every day. And let me tell y'all something, what I know, like what I feel like is what I feel like is people post things like this that really resonate with them. So like I've been going through a hard time lately for a few months. I've been going through a really, really, really hard time. And if you look at my timeline, you can probably tell that due to the post. Like I make posts about, just being patient for, that I know God's got me and things like that. Like, I think you can tell that there's something going on that she's been struggling with if you look at my Facebook. So, by looking at her Facebook, I think you could definitely tell that she's getting out of something, but maybe looking forward to something already. Elle, you're going to be up all night. I'll also text you. Text me. Have you already texted me? Because, oh, okay. So they split up right after this event, and I just received word that they were not really talking at the event. Sugar Bear, I was looking at Reddit the other day because I did break the story that court is over. Michael did not qualify for equitable caregiver. Can you comment on that? Somebody on Reddit was like, Sugar Bear texted my dad and said that court's not over, that they're still going on. And then that same person said, oh, I was at court. Sugar Bear's my family and I was at court. And I'm like, well, in another post, you said Sugar Bear texted your dad and told your dad that court wasn't over. But Sugar Bear, can you confirm that court is over? Actually, I broke the story that Michael Cardwell did not qualify for equitable caregiver. Amber Portwood was on my channel whenever her fiance went missing. So I'm just a mom that does this for fun because I watch YouTube and stuff, right? So sometimes I report before the Ashley, sometimes I report after the Ashley. But it's true because we just want to have a court document. So if you want to back it up, we actually went through the court document. So it is true. And there has been times that I have actually broke the story on things. It's very rare because I'm just a nobody in Louisiana. I'm just a nobody in Louisiana. Okay. That I have 6 kids and I watch reality television and I just started doing this. Court is over both cases. Thank you. But you see, when you start doing YouTube and whatever you're doing it in, if it's reality television, the longer you do it, the more sources you have. And then obviously when I first started doing this, I just watched these people on TV. I didn't talk to any of them, but now I got Sugar Bear here in my chat. You know what I'm saying? Now I got sources literally texting me information that they're like, hey, this is happening, this what's happening, that they're there, the people that were there at things, that witnessed things, you know. So while sometimes, a lot of times, I don't break the story, um, there has been times that I do. Oh, Elsa Queen, period. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is Impact News. No one else has broken it yet. I guess I need to put breaking news on the thing. And yeah, listen, I have over 2,000 videos. So probably, oh, and the Ashley has gotten content from me before. You can actually, literally, the Ashley has had to shout me out and say, got this from Elle Bee. Oh, when David Eason pistol whipped Janelle's friend, I broke that story. I had the video where Janelle went to her house to try to get everything, and David was yelling and screaming, and Janelle started recording and held it down by her leg. And I got that. I released that. So there has been times I broke the news that Janelle Edwards was letting Jace smoke marijuana. I broke the news that I've broken several things. Oh, I broke the news that Alana moved in with Draylon when she was like barely 16. So Sloan, who has like 1 million subscribers or something crazy, has used my content. I was literally on the news the other day. North Carolina News literally used my content. E News used my content the other day. My content was featured in uh, E News, Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood. Oh my goodness, I don't even. And look, Sugar Bear right there is going to tell you I'm the bomb. Thank you, Sugar Bear. So while I'm not always the first one to put everything out. I'm not. I'm not. But there has been times that I've broken stories, and there's been times that legitimate outlets like TMZ, Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight, The Sun, The Ashley, all of them have used my stuff. And that's why on the court documents, I watermarked it because I bought those documents. I just spent like $30 buying those documents and I watermarked them. That way, if people do want to use them, you don't know where they come from. Yes, someone said like that they don't think this is true because I never break stories. Like I'm never first to report things, and that the Ashley hasn't even reported on this. The Ashley hasn't reported that court's over for Mama June and Michael, but it is. It's been over since like it started either like on a Thursday or a Friday, and it only lasted 3 days, and it was done. But I couldn't. I wasn't able to report on it. I was waiting for what. I was waiting for the case docket to upload. So there's information that I have about Janelle, Jace, uh, Alana, and Mama June that I will probably never be able to talk about because people tell me these things and then say, but don't say nothing. So it is true. You can check it for yourself. The records are public. You can go check it. We just read everything. Um, so I didn't know this AOT went live. Yeah. Yes, David, David, Sugar Bear, you did. Yes. And there was a lot of confusion over that as well. Like I saw somebody on Reddit saying Sugar Bear actually filed to get custody of Caitlyn too in case Michael couldn't get her. And I'm like, no, he was just there as a witness for Michael. He wasn't trying to get custody of Caitlyn. He works all the time. Um, oh, and that was another thing too, is like the the yelling and the screaming and the I'm gonna beat the breath out of you. I captured that. I was watching their lives and heard that when Caitlin broke the glass on accident and they were cursing her like you wouldn't believe. I was actually watching and recorded that and put that out there and talked about it. Save you some money and get the court document from court list. I need to write that down because uh, Sugar Bear is on TikTok. Yes. Court listener. I actually used to have was registered on court listener, I think. Anyways, you guys, um, so someone came in here trying to be rude and wanted to make you look bad, go somewhere else. Yeah, literally just like a few weeks ago, I had news outlets messaging me saying, can we use your content? And I was like, absolutely. But either way, it is sad. I am curious, what led up to this, what happened here. Um, Man, it's sad. It's sad because no doubt, the little ones are little enough that they may not be impacted that much. But Ella, I really think is head over heels for her mom and her dad. Head over heels for her mom and her dad. So I do think this is really going to be tough for Ella. So I hope they have Ella like in counseling or therapy or something. And I'm not saying she needs, I'm just saying through a divorce, I wish I would have had that. But let me tell you, Josh, I hope June don't drag you through the mud like she does all the other exes. Whenever Anna and Caleb broke up, June said that Caleb abused Anna. June said that Michael abused Anna. June said that Sugar Bear abused her. June said that Gino abused her. If Justin and June ever break up, I feel like that might be what we hear. That's, you know, um, all the daddies of the girls, she's always, okay, Sugar Bear, since you're here, can you clarify something for me? June said that Sugar Bear never wanted Alana because Alana wasn't a boy, which I just found that really odd that he was absolutely okay raising this child that wasn't a boy for years and years and years and years. And not only his biological child that wasn't a boy, but June's other daughters, none of them boys, he raised all of them. When we met Mama June on Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, Mama June wasn't working. Sugar Bear was working. Sugar Bear was working, taking care of June, her kids, and the child that they shared together, Alana. And if you go back and watch the older episodes of Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, I watch them in clips because I can't find the full episodes. I really want to go back and watch the full episodes. But in the clips, they were so close. Like clips of Sugar Bear and Alana Fola riding and you know, it seemed like they were so close. So I just find it ironic that Sugar Bear did not have one problem raising his daughter and June's kids, and none of them were a boy. But then when they got a divorce, all of a sudden it was your daddy never wanted you because you was a boy. Well, he sure raised her, and he continued trying to see her on the show. I talked to him afterwards, and he said even when him and Jennifer got together, they would try to go see Alana, and there was times they drove up and waited hours for June to respond, and June said, "Oh no, she's at a friend's house. She can't come." And then they go back home. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that he literally Mike, you were the one that told me before that you knew Josh and Pumpkin would not work out. So I just hope Josh, I know him and June don't really get along. You know, I'm just saying, Josh, be careful because that's what June does to all the men. She, in my opinion, makes comments about them that are not true. Or maybe some are true, but I don't think all of them are. You know? Well, that's what it was. So I did watch an old episode, or maybe it was a clip where they were all sitting in the house, you know, the house that they lived in back then. And Sugar Bear said he would like to have another kid. And June was like, "Oh no, I'm not having any more." And he was like, "Come on, wouldn't you want a boy?" And she was like, "No, I'm good. We got enough." And he's like, "Well, I wouldn't mind having a boy. Come on, June, let's try for a boy." And they were like, you know, June was like, "No," but never did I ever hear him say he didn't want a lot of it. He literally was working, paying for these pageants. You know, even when Here Comes Honey Boo Boo got really big, guess what? Guess who continued to work? Sugar Bear continued to work. You know, what's the real reason Pumpkin filed for divorce? I missed it. Positively artsy, we don't know yet. There's speculation in the chat. There's people that's coming in saying they know the family and they've heard this, they've heard that. We did. It's time for Sugar Bear. We'll do it. We'll do an interview. I'm going to message you on Facebook, okay? Because I got some questions. We can clear that up. The rumor about you not wanting Alana because she wasn't a boy. Um, we can talk about whatever. We can talk about your experience at court the other day because also somebody was saying that they're your family. And first they said, Sugar Bear's my family. And he said, court's not over. And it's still going on and no ruling has been made. And then the same person said, that's not true. Sugar Bear texts my uncle. And then it was like, that's not true. I was there, but I can't tell y'all because I signed an NDA for the show. So, Sugar Bear, did you have to sign an NDA when you were there for court? Did the show make you sign an NDA? Because one of my sources told me that you tried to avoid the cameras, that the cameras were outside the courtroom and you tried to avoid them. You don't know who they are. Okay. Okay. Thank you. The person on Reddit claiming that they're your family and that you text their dad saying that it wasn't over, you don't know who that is. Gotcha. Did you have to sign an NDA? No, I didn't sign anything. I was actually told by a source that you tried to avoid cameras. Okay, that's a good idea, Nat. Keep the questions for the interview. That's what we'll do. We'll keep the questions for the interview. Anyways, you guys, I am gonna wrap it up because I have a doctor's appointment early in the morning. So, Sugar Bear, I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to see, you know, they can't make you sign to go into a courtroom. Yeah. Filming your life and letting viewers in on all your business content or relationships. Yes, I agree. Anyways, you guys, like, share, subscribe. We'll continue to follow this, but I do feel like it will be on next season. I do believe that because cameras were at the courthouse for the hearing. Obviously, they couldn't go inside. I was told that June, when they would have breaks, that June would go outside and talk to the cameras to kind of tell them what was going on. So we're going to see that. We're going to see if when the next season comes on, if during court, if June really was leaving the courthouse on breaks and updating, because I was also told that the judge kind of scolded June for like cameras being there and Caitlyn being brought. So anyways, you guys, like, share, subscribe. Heather, I see you, Heather. Anyways, Josh and Pumpkin are getting a divorce as of right now. It's been filed. The filing for a divorce was filed today. The acknowledgement was filed today. And the settlement was filed today. So they agreed to no alimony, no child support, 50-50. As I get more information, we'll continue to cover this. I actually have some of my sources messaging me right now. So tomorrow we'll cover more about this, okay? So like, share, subscribe, and we will talk more about this tomorrow and upcoming another interview by Sugar Bear. So make sure you are subscribed. Bye, guys.